8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Got me at the coast, boy. Wanna hear the ocean roar, crash over me. Then ride it home, dance it out in moonlight. Hold me tight and don't let go. Watch over me. We are all stardust, stardust, stardust. Left behind, left to find one another, face the sun, fear no one, 'cause we are all one, we are all one, we are all, we are all one, we are all one, we are all. Pick me up, get moonchild, put me into overflow. Superstar.
Hey everybody! Welcome my Zigsters. RJ, today's the lucky wiener. Woohoo! Super exciting just a very you should be extremely feel extremely rewarded and for being the first place wiener. I mean, would you like to give a speech? Hey Teresa, hey Jim, Bobby, hey Joe. You're a wiener hog? Don't say that. Yes, wiener hogger. It is what it is like she loves those wieners. So I decided I went live like a couple minutes early because I saw people waiting, and plus I'm like ready, and Ryan's gonna give me like 10 minutes to kind of like explain things, I guess, a little bit. So where to begin? Like, if I would have gone live earlier today, I probably would have been like freaking out and having a bitch fit and upset because I'll let Ryan. He was scheduled to see Fred today. Well, I'll let you. We'll ask him how well that went, but I had a really, and you're gonna have to, like, I guess in a little way, trust me, because I absolutely have to be extremely careful what I say about this, because it's about all, the things that have gone around about Fred and stuff and rumors. Some people think Fred did some really horrible things, okay? And that can be scary for people who are associated with them, friends with them, relatives, whatever, and it's kind of hard for people to speak out because it's kind of scary. But I had a super amazing conversation last night with somebody extremely close to Fred. And you're going to just have to freaking trust me on this one. It just solidified completely everything I've felt about Fred since the beginning. And I am more confident than ever that I'm right about him. And as far as him being innocent and he's not capable of I don't believe any other violent crimes either. But definitely not with Summer. I am so much more I was confident already, but now it's just like through the roof. I knew it. I knew my intuition was like, I just could tell because of everything that over the years and the months, everything has just lined up. And so now I trust, I can like completely 100% trust his word, because this person, now I only talk to, at this point, Fred doesn't even know I spoke to this person, okay? Only person that knows is Ryan, because I need help here with Fred, because I feel like they're trying to railroad him or something. And so I did tell him about the conversation I had, and he knows all the details, and he knows that he can't mention anything because it's just dangerous. And this person has known him a very, very, very long time, okay? Now, they haven't seen him. They saw him a few years ago, but didn't get to talk to him that much, okay? But last time that they were really, talking on the regular was like, it's been 8 years ago, okay? But this person has known him their whole life. And pretty much. And yeah, I asked questions like, I wish that I wish you guys could hear the conversation, but it's just the person's too scared, and I understand. I do. I'm trying not even to say the gender, but it's probably going to slip. I asked questions like, how, is Fred an honest person? What kind of person is he? Is he violent? Have you ever seen him hurt children? Have you, I wanted to know, and I was super nervous, but I was oh my gosh, this person spoke so highly about how amazing person he is. Oh my God. Like, just like I thought. And they know him extremely well. So it just makes me, and also they know he does not have schizophrenia. So that just also, it does other things for me, like discredits more like people like Jody Sue, who for some reason has a major problem with Ryan searching. Especially seems to be even more, what really attracted her attention is him talking to Fred. That's about the time that she kind of started freaking out on me too. So let me see what you guys are saying. No, I'm not going to say too much, but you guys need a little bit of a backstory before he gets up here, because you're going to need context in why he feels the way he does. He has heard this conversation. I'll just say that. Okay. So, and he's not one to just like go blindly. Well, no, Sweet D, though, that came, the schizophrenic rumor came from Jody Sue. She was the first one to spread that. She was the very first one to put something like that out there about him when he first spoke out. And then Don Wells made sure to really rub that in too about him being, a meth head. Well, guys want to know what's crazy? This person even confirmed, well, his drug of choice is not even meth. He has ADHD, so he was self-medicating. He said it was the only way he could sleep, but what he was addicted to was actually opiates. Never been an IV drug user. Now, as far as I don't know about Laura, okay? I'm just talking about Fred. This person does know Laura and as well, and spoke highly of Laura too. Especially, though, of Fred. It's actually searching for answers. Anybody that is close to telling, in my opinion. Yeah, it's amazing that his wife are out there looking for Summer. She deserves justice. Yes. And why? What would make? I don't understand what would make her upset today. The only thing that's changed, because I've noticed she's live. I noticed it. I knew it. I knew that she was going to start this stuff once she finds out that somebody else is talking to Fred. Yes, Bushi. So I'm not even sure, okay, there's Ryan right now. Hey there.
Hey.
How's it going?
Oh, good. We're a little tired.
Tired?
Yeah.
So you had a long day. You drove almost an hour, I think, to go see Fred, right?
Yeah, I thought I don't know why I didn't check the map the night before, but
Right.
I thought it was like 30, 35 minutes because Laurel Run is that far, but I didn't realize the prison is like another 15 minutes or so. So I was actually late like 10 minutes.
Yeah, and he says prison because he's not a convict and doesn't know the difference between jail and prison.
Correct.
It's a jail. It's a jail, county jail.
It showed up on Google. I was surprised. It showed up on Google Maps as Hawkins County Prison for some reason.
Okay.
I don't know why.
So I haven't even talked. I mean, I talked to you in message, but I haven't talked to you on voice, about what exactly happened when you got there and stuff.
Oh,
when you tried to visit him.
So I went right in. They went to the window. I said I have a meeting with Fred, and they acted like they knew I was coming and let me in. Sent me to the video room, and I went in, sat down. I was late, like I said, but I figured Fred would be called in or whatever. So I sat down and logged in, and for whatever reason, I waited. He wasn't there, so I was just kind of pacing around, checking out the room. Of course, they have mirrors and video and security cameras and everything. And then nothing happened, and then all of a sudden the voice came on the speaker and said pretty much that he wasn't allowed to have visitors because he was at rec, and they're not allowed to, I don't know what this means, but they're not allowed to have multiple tiers or double tier, whatever that means.
I don't know either. They tried to. That's the same kind of things that they have told Kathy when she's gone up there. She's successfully seen him twice, I think. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say what was stupid about it is they could have just told. Number one, they automatically approved the visit when I
Yeah,
registered, and then when I went in, why didn't they just tell me at the front window?
I know, right? Exactly. And you drove, oh my God, dude, I would have probably, I'm glad you probably kept your composure, but
Well,
me, I can't. Like, I probably would have flipped.
I'll be honest. I mean, it's video. I could have done it remotely, but I
Mhm.
wanted the law enforcement to know that I was not worried about going there and talking to Fred in person. And if they wanted to see me go in and catch me on security camera and see what I look like, I'm fine with that. I look directly at the camera. Honestly, don't care. I want to talk to Fred. If they had asked me why I was going, I would have said I'm just a concerned citizen. I want to make sure his rights are being protected, and I just want to talk to him. I have every right to. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So I got a message from Fred, like, basically about the same time that I saw your message that, well, they, of course, he said effing. He does never cusses, but he's like, they effing, refused my visit with Ryan. And I was like, okay, of course. This is like, so it's like happen. It's like clockwork. It's how many times, Kathy, are you in the chat? How many times have you been turned away when you've been up there? I don't know if she's in here right now, but um, so I told everybody that I did tell everybody that you heard the call and that
yep.
we can't. I don't know if you have. I did talk to the person beforehand and let them know, but we told them we'd be really careful about outing who they are. But I wanted you to hear it because I thought it was important for context for you.
Cool.
So, what did you think, like, about that? That you can tell, I mean, that you can say, like, what did you think about the call?
Number one, oh, the call itself. So my impression was I was extremely surprised because anything we've heard about Fred has been negative
Mm-hmm.
from everybody, that he's a liar, that his I mean, we know what he's been into. We know what he's there for. So obviously anybody who is into that type of thing is considered not a reliable source by anybody. But that's, as far as I can tell, that's all he was into. But the problem is he also has family who's into that.
Mm-hmm.
Some not, obviously, but it's just in the community that he's in. Um, And so there's been nothing to really give him credibility at all. And in my opinion, everything that came from him, I doubted. I suspected well, I don't know, was covering for someone or something, until I heard that call from someone who, in my opinion, has an
Mm-hmm.
amazing life. Is in my I'm pretty sure well respected wherever they are because of just the type of life they have, very put together, middle class, and this is
Mm-hmm.
someone this is someone who has nothing to gain from saying anything positive about Fred, and they did, and they said a lot of positive things that
Mm-hmm.
convinced me um, that he, at least number one, I am 100% certain he would never harm a child. Now, I
Yeah.
believe that 100%. I know that without a doubt. I don't know. I can't say too much, so I'm not going to say why, but I don't doubt that anymore. The only thing, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but we
Mm-hmm.
don't know a lot. Like we don't know what he witnessed. We don't know what he saw.
Right. No, tell
Um,
your truth, like what you believe, like what you believe. Yeah. Like if
okay,
you're still doubting, like, that's fine because I know that once you talk to him and everything, I know it's going to, you talk to him more, I know that things you'll see. I'm just glad that you heard that. But
yeah.
you're afraid that possibly he could be afraid of speaking on something.
Well, a lot of people. I mean, if he did see anything that day,
Mm-hmm.
if he was a witness to something, there could be a lot of people who are afraid of what he might have seen and what he might say. And there are theories on law enforcement, and if law enforcement's afraid of what he's going to say, with the whole theory out there about this being a big ring and powerful people, well, then they'd be afraid. If it's just a person who did this, or a
Mhm.
small group of people in the community, and they don't have a lot of power, they just covered it up and are afraid, then any of those people, if he witnessed anything, any of those people will want him shut up. They will not
Yeah,
want him talking. So that's kind of where I think it is. That people just,
yeah,
somebody doesn't want him talking to anybody.
I know. And I talked to this person too, like, I talked to this person too about they're worried about the same thing. They're very scared for him. Oh, and but did you saw that he was attacked in there, right,
Yeah,
Ryan? Did
yeah,
you see
yep,
that where
yep,
he had to get like uh yeah, they had to put the thing on him to bring him back to life,
yep,
because some people think he could have something to do with the, summer, or and some people like think he's a snitch or something. There's so many like rumors going around about him. Like, but he's the one that told me that he wore a wire on Dawn. Now I got that from him. Could he be lying about that? I guess. I mean, Laura confirmed it, but I guess he could just say that. He's the one that also is that told us that the dogs hit at the bottom of his driveway. That didn't look too good. He's just been very honest about a lot of things that weren't exactly positive for him. Even the person I talked to even mentioned things that weren't so favorable. Like it wasn't like everything was like amazing all the time. Like they did have a couple experiences, like they've seen him deal with addiction,
yep.
and and they've seen some like back and forth between him and Laura, like fighting and stuff, but nothing. I mean, the way that this person described him with children, it was just super. That he would hurt somebody before they did something to a child. Like,
Yeah, I believe that.
was the so
Also, I think what helps us now understand the things that come from Fred, I think it's easier to identify what's true and what may not be true. And in my opinion, if we give law enforcement credit, if they're not corrupt like some people think, and they're trying to do their jobs, then the way they will go about interrogating someone who has information they need is they'll feed them lies. They'll tell them things that they have evidence. They'll say, "Oh, we found something. We found a body, or we know someone. You're going to be charged for murder, or whatever." They'll make something up. They'll tell him that, so that hoping that if he thinks they know, then he'll come clean and he'll tell them the information they need. That's how they work. So if Fred says, "Oh, law enforcement told me that," immediately doubt it, because they're interrogating him. But if he says something like that he has personally seen that somebody else hasn't told him, I think we can trust that based on what we heard in that phone call, that he is
yeah.
honest.
Just like that, just like him saying that the COs said that he's being investigated for 2 murders. Like, and the CO supposedly got that from Ronnie Lawson, according to Fred. Like, who knows? Could it be a tactic, like you're saying, or something?
Yeah, I
I
mean
don't
that's
know.
that's that's the common approach. I think that's what they're trying to do, and I mean that's how they go about getting information from suspects, so, or from anyone.
Does Hawkins County know Ryan is on Facebook? Why do you say that, Jessica? If you think they need to know something, text
Well,
me, please.
she probably thinks they'll block me like they did Trevor.
Oh, that'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, that'd be funny. I haven't
Yeah,
posted, I haven't, I haven't posted anything about them directly, so.
yeah. But you were in there today, so they and your name was on the list, so
Oh
they
yeah,
know who you are now. And um, maybe I'm or we're all of us that believe that there could be something weird going on, like as far as corruption or something. Maybe I'm just paranoid, but I don't know. I don't understand it. Like I had a jail call with somebody else just a couple days ago. Everybody saw on here, no problem. The jail had no problem with it. But when I talked to Fred, and that call was put out, holy crap, he got in so much trouble. Like, they took away. It seems like he's still dealing with that to this day. I don't know what else he could have done. I mean, they have those chirp devices in there that they can take away. They're like texting devices, and he lost his because, well, first of all, they took it away because his sister told Ronnie Lawson that he was trying to extort her. So they had to take his chirp and look through it and check into that. Once they saw that was, not true, he got it back for a short time, and then they noticed that he had been using somebody else's chirp. Well, his was taken, and so I guess, I don't know, it's just, they're strict about that stuff. But it just seems like, Kathy, I thought I saw Kathy in here. How many times, Kathy, did you guys go there? Or did you go there? Yeah, she's in the chat. How many times have you been turned away? They may be checking everybody that talks to him. Yeah, which is not very many. But Ryan doesn't have anything to worry about. If you're doing the right thing, you don't have anything to worry about. And that's what Fred will tell you too.
I mean, if I had anything to worry about, I wouldn't have gone there. I'm happy to talk to Ronnie. I don't care. I'll talk to any of them.
Yeah, I would like to talk to him, ask him. That's the thing, that the person that I spoke to, they wanted to understand. They're like, I don't understand, like, why they haven't cleared him. Like, why can't they just, like, she feels like they're playing, like, I just said her. Anyways, they think that the law enforcement is playing games and don't understand. Like, he's completely under the impression that he's cleared, and but nobody else is aware of that. And then with the lie detector thing, like, what the heck? That was another thing they talked about. Like, why did they even put that out? It didn't show us anything. It didn't tell us if he passed or failed. And then it said, oh, these are only this might not be a complete list of all the questions. No, it wasn't a complete list. It wasn't even close. It was only 3 questions, and he was asked, like, it was hours worth of questions.
Yeah.
So, and thank you so much, Fedro. Said, Ryan, did you speak to his attorney? Who denied the visit? Has anyone else been denied? Call the DA and tell them about pre-approval, then denied. Oh, that's the next step, I think. I was talking to Fred today about who is a public attorney is, or public defender is, but
it might not be a bad idea, because I was really confused why they even have the list of visiting hours if they're not actually available.
Exactly. Block them out. You know what I mean? Block out unavailable hours. Like,
yep. The other thing too with Fred, again, I try to give law enforcement benefit of the doubt. And the thing is, if there is a suspect, if they suspect there's a suspect out there listening to these channels, watching all the information going out there, and if they suspect that he does know something and could say something that could hurt the investigation, that might be another reason why they're trying to keep him quiet and under wraps. Yeah, how long is he? So he's been in there
since June, mid-June.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I wish, though, that, if that were the case, I wish they would. I know they want it. Well, unless, like, I wish they would be like, contact me and be like, hey, can you stop putting this stuff out?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they're putting, when they put lies out there to Fred, if they're making this stuff up, well, then again, it could help them, because if they feed him a lie and then he feeds it to everyone else out there, in the end, when he comes out, those lies are proven, are shown to be not true. It also makes him look even more discredited, because there are all these lies that he told because of them, and now he's a big liar and nobody's gonna believe anything he says when he's out there. So
yeah. Thank you so much, Luminous. Yeah, and plus he's not like, he's actually, okay, he's very mechanically smart and like street smart, but his IQ is probably like below average, or right at, like, it's below average, I'm sure. And he's not like, smart, like in an academic way. He's not good at grammar. He doesn't know about internet and stuff like that very much. He's an easy target, very, very easy target. And I feel like that's why I was shocked. I was shocked, yeah, to have talked to. I can't. I well, I should probably be quiet. I'm going to say something I should say. It's so hard. I wish I hate it. I hate it, but I understand why this person doesn't want, to be out there. I wish so bad that you guys could hear this call. Like, I think it would help, like,
Oh gosh,
change.
no way. The thing is, like it took us a long time to decide to do this because of if you watch. I mean, look at the past however many years, 2 years, 2.5 years.
Mhm.
Look in the madness. Anybody that comes on YouTube and even mentions this case, you get all this drama, you get all this mud thrown at you, and the decision to actually put your name out there on if and especially a large audience. I mean, you've got a lot of subscribers here, and if the name gets out there, you know what's going to happen. You're going to have crazy people trying to track them down, trying to do their little online investigations, and then they're just inundated with all of these people just bugging them day and night.
Yeah,
So
you would think so. You think they would too, but nobody's tried to talk to Fred. Like, you know what I mean? I can't believe it. Like, just like you were shocked to, like, nobody's talked to him. Nobody, like, no, nobody's talked to him. No, nobody else besides me and Kathy. Like, as far our Kathy's not a YouTuber. She's just a regular subscriber watcher. She's never been on panel or anything. Um, she goes and talks. She met with him or met him the first time I was out there. But besides that, nobody else like will go out there. I've asked people. People are actually really scared. I mean, JLR was actually scared.
yeah, scared of talking to Fred.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, so someone asked earlier in the chat, was I afraid going to Ben
Mhm.
Hill? I think the reason I was nervous about that is the reason people are nervous to talk to Fred. I was definitely concerned, um, because I grew up in an area of Maine that was low income. I was poor when I was growing up, and there were absolutely communities that if you drove through, you had to worry about whether you're going to get shot at. And I don't know, I I don't know which areas. I mean, I know Tennessee pretty well. We've been here since 2019, and I know the safe areas. There are a lot of areas I haven't gone into, and that was one of them. And I usually tell the danger level by, um, the type of people, what they look like, or do you see people kind of stumbling around like they're high more than usual? And if you see that, then it's a dangerous area. And not that I saw that there, but it's the type of area where I mean, you see people online from the area, and you can tell that you just hear about the drug issues, the much higher level of drug issues. Yeah, what Justin just said, you have to be on high alert in areas like that, because if you're
Yeah.
not, you can get mugged, you can get attacked. Things get stolen there all the time. I mean, people around there say that all the time. They're
Yeah.
much more crime, much more yeah,
Yeah.
things getting stolen. So when we were driving through, you could see in the video when I hit Simpson Road, the end of Simpson Road, I'm like, crap, I really don't want to stop here. I think there's a trailer up there. They're probably great people, by the way. It's just that you don't know. If you're not from the neighborhood, you don't know who's decent and who's not. So I'm like, I got to get the hell out of here. I just don't want to be stopped in any area. So,
Yeah,
um,
I know, especially back there, because once you get past Simpson, the only people back there is like Fred Hill's property and the Redmonds property, So, but now Fred's not out there, so
well,
yeah,
Fred is from that community, number one, and he has charges that prove, he was dealing there. So because people are afraid of that type of community, who knows? Like they might think, well, Fred might know people, might have some connections. But the thing is, and I saw this in a lot of my past research, people were afraid to reach out to certain people. It's the same is true with um, someone in a high power position. Like I can't tell you how many
Mhm.
researchers in that are afraid to call someone in like an intelligence community or something because they think they're a bunch of spooks and they can hack your computer. They're people that work in the government even are normal people who have offices, and they'll talk to you if they're, you know. So Fred is a normal person who just got caught up in what he was into. He got caught up in drugs. As we learned from the phone call, that's pretty much his it seems to be his one failing, is that he got caught up in drugs most of his life for many years.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what the
but
person said is
but if you're going to sit down with even someone who's been on drugs for years and someone in the community, if you're going to approach them like, look, I'm just here to help you. I just want to get to know you. We're friend. We can be, you know, we can just talk, like we can just chill out and talk and get to know each other. Most people that you come in contact with, whether even if they have been doing drugs for a long time, deep down they're good people, and they everybody wants a friend. So you start from the standpoint of, we're going to become friends, and if you get the sense that they are actually are kind of a bad person, and you know, they sneak around, they lie, they steal, well then you disconnect and you block them or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you just stop
right.
talking to them. But you got to give
Yeah,
people the benefit of the doubt at the beginning, even
yeah.
everyone.
Yeah, and like I was quickly, as soon as I saw Fred the very first time and he waved, like Forrest Gump, like that's how you remind. He's just like Forrest Gump, and I was like, oh, he is not, scary at all. Like he was so like welcoming, and like as soon as he saw me, he was way more friendly than anybody else out there. But I am talking to somebody who, so this person, she retired from Hawkins County actually, and used to work in used to work in that in visitation. What did they say? Can you say it one more time, like what they told you? Something just about him being on rec and
That he was, yeah, just it was some kind of rec period, and she made it sound like it was all day and he would only be out at night, that night. But she did say he would be available at that time the next day. But
yeah.
yeah, so maybe an online visit or something. I'm definitely not going to drive an hour just to be turned around again.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I was just I'll see what she tells me, but yeah, she worked there for a long time. Thank you, Ryan, for compassion. Yeah, Ryan's a good person. I am so happy that he's perfect. I know it's so dorky, but I've been trying for so long to get somebody to go out there, like, and this is even better because now I have like a credible person, like somebody it's like halfway normal going out there, that's people can, because there's a lot of yeah, you can't trust
Well,
me.
I don't know about normal, but yeah, I hear what you're
Well, in comparison to
saying. Yeah.
like a lot of the people on here, you obviously like have your stuff together. You have goals. You have stuff going on in your life. You've got a wife you've been with forever, and you know what I mean. So you have your life together. You could tell your life's together, in that you seem like a respectable guy, and so I think this would be good. I'm really bummed about what happened today, but like I was so excited for it. Like I could hardly actually I couldn't sleep last night because I was so excited about that phone call. Also, I was super excited about you guys talking today, but like, and that's kind of why I was asleep when you messaged at first, or he messaged and told me that it didn't go through. But yeah, I wasn't at all like really shocked though. Because it's happened many times before. Kathy, did you say how many times like you went there and got turned away? And also the person, Jessica, that's who. If he is in a cell that has 2 tiers, they probably aren't letting him out of the with the other inmates. They won't let him out with other inmates, if they're keeping him safe. Oh, so okay, I see what they mean. Okay, so in the block, there's 2 tiers. There's the bottom level and the top level, and I guess those are the tiers. And they let them out at different times. Like the bottom level, I remember Fred telling me something like this. Bottom level gets out certain times during the day, and then the other does too. But for visitation, see, when they get out, it's out in the day room, and that's where you go to for the visitation. That's where the machine thing is. It's right there, where the TV and stuff is. They have like this machine that you can use to email. But it's also where they do their video visits. It's right there in the block, so that's probably why. Because then he would be out with other inmates that are on the different tier. I see what, but they need to figure something out as far as like why don't they block out these times, like Jessica? If why won't they get with the times? People drive a really long ways to visit people, even longer than what Ryan did today.
Oh, that
So,
makes sense.
like, you would think they'd be a little bit more I don't know. They need to do something. If that's it, I guess that does make somewhat of sense to me.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
surprised they put that as available. So
Yeah.
Ziggy, somebody asked for my background, but I'm afraid I might take over too much time. Do you
No,
want me to?
no, please.
So, okay. Yeah, because I'm
Yeah.
sure a lot of people, when I just popped on the radar here, we started doing this, people are like, who the hell is this guy coming out
Yeah.
of the blue? Um, I, so I've, let's just say when I first was looking into what career to go into, you know how they do all those tests in like high school, college, or high school, what you
Mhm.
should become. Every test told me that I should either be a journalist or a police officer, detective. And I'm like, yeah, but I was talking to my dad was always pushing me, you got to go into something that makes a lot of money, and then you can do whatever on the side. And so I took my dad's advice, and instead of going into journalism or whatever, I went into engineering, electrical engineering. And so my whole life has been sort of this dual path of I went to college for engineering, got a pretty good engineering job in Connecticut. But at the same time, I started kind of getting into just researching stories. And it was kind of a side hustle, like a lot of people who start a YouTube channel, they do the same thing I did back then. And in 2006, I ended up hitting on this really weird. I got into paranormal, UFO, government government projects, or like just recently released declassified government projects, and kind of revealing things government's been up to, Stargate and all that kind of weird stuff. And we ended up blowing open this case. Me and a group of people, we ended up blowing open this case of this guy who had been spreading this ridiculous claim that the government had a project where they sent a crew of astronauts to an alien planet. Like, it was just so dumb.
Yeah, I
And
read about that on your.
oh my god! So we tracked it down, and we ended up tracking the IP address of this guy's email to what was it, New Mexico somewhere, and he happened to be a police officer, and so we just exposed it all. I think we might have gotten him in trouble, which I kind of feel bad about. He didn't get fired or anything, but it was at the time it was this. I don't know. Have you ever heard of Above Top Secret? It was a huge conspiracy. Well, it was a huge forum on a lot of topics back in the day. This was like 2006, and
No.
it's kind of like the YouTube of
Yeah. Like a
I guess
forum.
I'm revealing my age here, but when that came out, all of a sudden, so I was at work one day, and all of a sudden I got a phone call, and it was this guy, and he said, "Should I give his name?" You can Google him. Yeah, I'll give his name. So he called me. He said, "Hey, Ryan, this is Ron Pandolfi," and I'm like, "What? Are you okay?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm with the CIA." Now imagine getting that phone call at work. I'm like, "Get out of here! What do you really?" I thought it was one of the scammers.
Yeah.
I thought it was one of the scammers, like trying to get to me. And so I almost hung up on him. And he goes, "No, hey, I liked your story on this guy down in New Mexico. He's been a thorn in my side for a long time, pain in the ass, blah, blah." And so I started talking to him, and he was very professional, acting legit. I didn't believe him. I still didn't think he was a CIA scientist. And then we talked for a long time, for like months. And at one point, he wanted me to go down to DC to do a presentation.
Oh my god.
They do this lunch and learn where they bring in civilians just to talk on something. And I was going to do, this was back before cybersecurity was a big thing. So I was going to do a talk on the potential for, cyber information digging and all this kind of stuff. And he said, okay, that sounds good. You can come down whenever. Let's set a date. And before I went down, I wanted to test him to see if he's real. So I wrote up a form letters to the CIA saying, hey, I'm coming in for lunch and learn. Um, on this date, I just want to make sure, do you need clearance? Do you need any information from me, ID, passport, whatever, to clear me to come into the CIA? And I looked up the CIA website, found their official fax number, and I put the paper in the fax. I faxed it over directly to the CIA, and I put his name on it. I said, Ron Pandolfi's having me come in to do this. And I went back to my desk, and within about 15 minutes, I got a call from Ron again, and he's like, Ryan, don't ever do that again.
Oh no.
Which confirmed to me that obviously he works there, because he got word of an actual official fax going to the CIA. So I don't know why he didn't want me to let them know. Maybe it was like, I don't know, something that he was kind of doing undercover, secretly, and I don't know. I have no idea. But yeah, that's story I tell a lot of people. My boss thinks I'm just this, like, I have this second life doing all this crazy stuff.
Wow. Somebody asked, have you ever heard of the story of the UFO that hit the train in Russell, Kentucky? Or, well, it's back to your story that you guys were talking about, though. To move real quick, did you? Sorry, did shit. Oh, were you on the History Channel or something? Because you said, or did you actually go on there? Or
Yeah, that wasn't a government conspiracy. That was just an article I had researched and written about the Mormons.
oh yeah,
Because you know that website where you send in your DNA for ancestry.com, right? It's run by the Church of Latter-day Saints, and I think that's what they're called. Basically, it's the Mormon. It's what they call the Mormon
right.
Church. But I started digging into that whole website and just what they do with the information. And this is public knowledge. If you dig enough, it's easy to find. But they have a vault in Utah where they store all the microfilm of everyone's ancestors. So I looked on like ancestry.com. I found my grandmother on it. You could find your relatives in this registry, and if it's in the registry, it's in the vault. Like they just store years and years of all of our ancestors. And back in, I think it was in the 90s, they got caught for pulling the ancestors of all of the Jews in the Holocaust. And basically, they do this. They call it by proxy baptism. They'll baptize people who have passed away. And this newspaper journalist had discovered that they were baptizing all of these Jews that had died in the Holocaust, and it blew up. The church got in huge trouble, and since then they pretty much shut down. Like, they shut down the database. It was open before, but once somebody exposed that, they shut it down. I wrote that story up, and I wrote about the vault and everything. And this, out of the blue, this producer from the History Channel called me, and he's like, Ryan, I love the story you wrote. Do you want to? We're doing a segment on secret underground places in the U.S. Do you want to come talk about this Mormon Vault thing? And so, like, yeah, whatever, sure. So they flew me to New York. I think it was New York or Boston. I can't remember. Put me in a hotel for a night, and they, film crew and everything. And I just shot that scene. It's kind of at the end of that segment.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yes, like I mean, I see a lot of awesome things happen for, even YouTubers in this community. Like, I've seen them be on like News Nation and stuff and like get great opportunities. So, that's just from you putting out your work. But you had a blog and stuff like you have a website, right? That you post you have a RyanFindsTruth.com.
Yeah, I will tell you, if anybody can do it, if you invest enough time. I mean, I did it for a year. I did it from 2006 onward, and I've never stopped really until, well, I'm not going to get into that. But what I want to say is, well, yeah, I will, because now if I said I won't get into it, people are going to make up all kinds of stories about me, right? So I stopped doing it. I think, like, when we moved to Tennessee, I'm like, I can't take, as you all know, if you do stories on YouTube, you're always going to get haters. And my life was constantly fighting. It was just like shutting down, even especially people that you're exposing, they're going to come after you hard.
Yeah.
And you have to, like, invest so much of your emotional energy, your time in dealing with these people.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to enjoy my family. And so I stopped
How
for
do
a
they
while.
feel about
They,
it?
honestly, what's funny is when the History Channel thing came out, my daughter put out this Facebook post that was like coolest dad ever, which made me feel really proud. Um, and they've always been proud of me
Yeah.
for doing it, but for my own kind of, I don't know, I wanted to chill out for a little bit and relax. But again, once people started coming to the channel and saying, "Hey, can you please search Laurel Run, look for Summer?" And I'm like, okay, I'll start looking at what this is all about. And once I saw how many people are just so invested in this, and this little girl, when I saw her picture, I'm like, that's what my daughter looked like at that age. And it hit me so hard
Mhm.
in the heart that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get back into this, and I know there's gonna be attacks. I know there's gonna be people and all this drama, and so that's why when you hear me constantly saying, I am not getting into the drama. If somebody
Yeah.
attacks me on their channel, I'm not even gonna look at it. I don't.
No,
I
and
don't look.
don't send it to them. I accidentally did today, but
Don't even look. Don't even look at your mentions. Like, you don't have to respond to these
right,
people.
exactly.
We're gonna do what we do. I'm gonna publish what we do. I'm not even gonna look at or talk to anybody except for obviously good people like you and good researchers like you who can, help out with kind of digging up things. And
Yeah,
that's what I want
and
to do.
you can sit back and just watch how people's reactions, because that's really telling as well. Like
It
you
is.
said,
It is
so
feeling. Yeah.
it helps. It does. It helps then, because how people react to certain things. Like if you pay attention, I mean, it takes a long time to find patterns and stuff, but if you pay attention for a
Oh,
long period of time,
Ziggy, the first thing I learned when we started busting scams and stuff is that you can quickly identify who most likely is behind it by the first person who attacked you and how hard they attack you. It's every single time. I've never researched anything where that wasn't the case. It's so funny. I like, if I was the person behind something, I would shut the hell up. I wouldn't say any. I would just be like quiet off. I wouldn't even go on the internet. And for some reason, like, it happens every single time. I don't get it.
there you guys go, from an expert who, I mean, you're an expert in it since this is something you've been doing independently, like on your own, right?
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
it's like a second job for me. Yeah.
yeah, you don't even, so it's like you're your own boss, right? You're
Oh
just
yeah.
going out and checking out whatever you want to check out. And what about, I saw somebody sent me something, I think some articles of yours or something. Do you still write? Like, is it just on your website or?
So I had a website of my own for a long time. It's got to have 1,000 or more articles on it, and
Mhm.
in recent years, um, uh, image creators have started doing this thing where they will now, if you've taken one of those stock photos that's supposed to be free, they'll go out and they'll hire this company to go and to see if you've used their photo, and they'll actually come after you.
What?
I had one company come after me and say, "Hey, we've got this random photo on your website, and we want $200, or we're going to take you to court."
What
And
the
I'm
heck?
like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Okay, look, I'm like, I don't want to deal with it." I researched them to make sure they were legit, and they actually are. They will hire a law firm and they'll bug you forever. And so I paid the $200 and I just shut it down because, like I said, I quit doing that stuff. I didn't care. So I didn't take it down. I took it offline till I can go through and sort of maybe automatically add credits to the photos, but it's just not enough. It's not worth it to have to deal with that.
Oh, so they want to make sure that you credit every photo. Is that what they were
every
making sure?
every single photo, and I had like 10, 15 years worth of articles and not enough time. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. What a nightmare.
Yep.
Wow. It says amazing. They will take you to court for thousands of dollars for 200 bucks.
I mean, the old me, honestly, Justin, the old me would have been like, go ahead. I really don't care. And I guess the new me would too. But back when I was quitting all this stuff, I, I, like I said, it wasn't worth the hassle. Like I said, I didn't want to fight with anyone. I didn't want to fight anymore. So I'm just like, whatever, go away. I'll give you $200. I don't care. But
Uh,
I, yeah,
I guess we should. Have you ever heard of the story of the UFO that hit the train in Russell, Kentucky?
hit the train.
Yeah, that's what lean on me asking. I figured I better ask her a question. It's been on the screen for a while.
No, the big thing right now is, see,
Mhm.
I start getting into the stuff and I get more people reaching out. It's so funny. You know that the big government release of the
Mhm.
UFO, the Tic Tac UFO.
Yes.
So there's this
Yeah.
this whole group behind it. I forgot what it's called. Something. Anyway, it's got Hal Puthoff, a scientist, as one of the science, the kind of the consulting scientist, but he's core to it. And there's an actor. There's a former musician. I can't remember any of the names at this point. I have all these notes. But anyway, that Tic Tac UFO release was really driven by this group of people who have their little company, and they're really pushing. You'll notice, actually, do go ahead and go online and look up. Yeah, thank you to the Stars Academy, Lori. If you check out the Times article, I think it was New York Times. The person
Mhm.
who wrote it is Leslie Kean, and Leslie Kean is well known as being connected to the Stars Academy folks. She's been releasing their crap for years, and it's this huge like
Mm.
scam. But I knew this, like when I saw this stuff come out of that Tic Tac video. It's almost like you get out of it and they want to suck you back in. Like I wanted so bad to get back into this and kind of research it, and
Yeah.
I didn't. But then about a year ago, this guy from Hollywood, a producer in Hollywood, gave me a call, and he goes, "Hey Ryan, I'm trying to get an interview with Ron Pandolfi, and I know you talked to him for a whole bunch of years." Oh shoot, should I be saying this publicly? Whatever, I don't care. Um, because
Sound
it's
like
still going on. I don't know if this is public, but and now the To the Stars Academy is going to know. Whatever. Um, so he's worked with me to get contact with, kind of get Ron back on board with kind of talking on this film he's doing. And so he asked me, could I be a co-producer on this project he's working on? And I'm like, that doesn't sound like too much work. It's really just helping him with connections and maybe doing some editing on his giving him feedback on the film he's putting together. So someday soon, I don't know if it's going to be a year or 2 years, there's going to be a film coming out probably that covers the To the Stars Academy, the whole Tic Tac UFO thing. Potentially, I might be a co-producer on it, but I'm not
awesome.
100% sure. Yeah.
Wow. See, um, where are you at, Grandis? Oh, well, I don't know how much. I don't know. Like, Grandis is not like top of my list. I don't know. It keeps going back and forth. I don't know what to think. Does Ryan think Summer? I don't know if he'll say, but
Okay, well, that's a good question. A lot of people have been asking me to ask my wife if she knows, and I do want to say one thing about my wife is, um, I she said, "Be careful." I am super protective of her. As you can see on the videos, she's shy. She is sensitive, obviously sensitive, and I don't want her to even be on YouTube. And so, and she's so people have been asking, what does Jen think about whether Summer's alive or dead? And um, because she's been motivated by Donna to actually explore this weird thing that she's had through the years. She's never actually done. She's learning from Donna, like what works, what doesn't work, how can you develop it, and she started doing that. What she's seeing when we go out is that Ben Hill Road thing blew both of us away, because she hasn't tried to do that kind of thing. And with her eyes closed, she started actually seeing things, and it kind of creeped her out too, because she was receiving like actual images, and it was just weird. And her eyes were closed. I don't know how she knew where Ben Hill Road was. Being, again, I know people are gonna laugh me saying I'm a skeptic and I'm entertaining this stuff, but being skeptic, I was like, well, the road was bumpy, so maybe she kind of sensed that. But the thing is, she knew when we got on somehow she knew, well, it couldn't have been the bumpy road, because when we got back onto Beach Creek and it was a smooth road, she asked me, are we near the property yet? And that told me she didn't really know that she was near the property when she was doing all this stuff. And I'm sorry, I talked too much, I'm going off tangent. Does she know if Summer's alive or dead? She doesn't know any more than what she's getting. And so she gets like bits and pieces. When we go to a location, if something happened there, she's going to be like, okay, I feel sick to my stomach. I'm kind of getting this. And if it's a hot spot, if it's really something that dramatic happened, she gets that scene. So it's like we're getting a scene at a time. That happened at Bays Mountain. That happened at Ben Hill. Those are the two places where she actually started seeing things. Everywhere else, it's like, okay, I feel sick right now. Something bad here. I'm being drawn to in this direction. And then for some reason, almost every time, I don't know how this happens, but we find some object, or when she's
Uh-huh.
drawn to a location, she finds this thing. You'll see it in like this next video on Thursday. I keep thinking we're going to go out there at least one of these times. We have to find nothing, because you can't find something every time, but we always end up finding like some kind of object that could have a meaning. And I'm hoping the reason we put this stuff out there is I'm hoping whatever we find, people will see these objects, and it's actually going to mean something to people who've been
Right.
researching this since the beginning. You know,
Right. That thing you found, that I had to, I'm a very curious person, so if I don't know something like what something is, I have to Google it and find it out. Just like when I was watching your video and it had the geocache or whatever, I had to look that up and see what that meant. Which I still don't quite understand, but it's like it tracks the location. Basically, it can tell you the location of the object, right? It's just like
that
I,
that one we found. So I know
yeah.
I researched Bays Mountain. They have these clubs, these geocache clubs, and you have to, well, not a club. It's almost like,
Uh,
I think it's something maybe for kids to do, and you're supposed to find the geocaches.
uh,
A lot of them have something in them, but a lot of these markers are like, oh, I found this one, and you put it in your logbook. But I think what she was picking up on, number one, there were piles of rocks everywhere. I don't know how she just felt drawn to this pile, and she's like, there's something here, and I reach down and I find this thing. I don't know how. It's so weird. I think what she was highlighting when you see it in the video, she's like, but there's a skull on it, and there's something about the skull that I guess is supposed to mean something,
yeah,
maybe. Yeah.
yeah. And that you know what, that sign in the sun thing is, that was very weird. I mean that was strange to, that she, because you didn't, you're like, oh, that's nothing, and then you see the other side and there's a sun on it. That's crazy. That would have
Yeah,
freaked me out too.
that was the first moment that blew. I I think I said at the end of that, I was suspicious. I didn't think this would work. I was like, let's just give it a try. After the first one we did was Bays Mountain, and that blew me away. But I'm like, well, that was a vision. We didn't find anything beyond the geocache, and so I'm like, well, next time nothing's going to happen, because maybe it had to be a fluke. And so we did that one, and nothing was happening. And I'm like, okay, so this isn't really. This isn't real. And then she pointed to that thing, and I was annoyed because it was the end. We were both annoyed. It was noise and all these people, and neither of us like to be around a ton of people. And so she had a headache, and I'm like, this is too much. She pointed to that thing, and I'm like, yeah, I know. We went to Domtar. I know, I get it. And I wanted to leave. And as we're walking on the other side, I turn around and I'm like, what the hell? Because she had written that at home before we went. She's like, sign in the sun. And I had been looking everywhere for some kind of sun sign. And when I saw that, I'm like, okay, maybe I can't be quite as skeptical anymore. Maybe I have to kind of entertain this as a source of information, you know?
Yeah, I was just telling you today that I imagine that you guys, I don't know. I would imagine I would be probably bickering all the time. Like, I don't know, out there
Well,
walking for miles and just like don't know if you're walking and just like, you know,
yeah.
like,
I'll let you in on a secret. So that scene you saw at the lake where she was just like sitting down and she's like, I just don't feel anything yet. I don't know. She's contemplating. And I edited out. I kept going, well, Jen, like, ask if it's, maybe you think this body of water is the water that you saw in the vision. And I'm like trying to tell her what to do. And at one point she goes, Ryan, shut up. I'm like, okay, edit. We're gonna cut that scene out.
oh my gosh. Spirit Seeker was wanting me to pull up some type of location that she wanted you to see. It says, I'd love for she and Ryan to look at my posts. I tagged Ryan, and it's a vision I had. I'm a psychic medium of a location where I believe something is buried. Where is that at, Spirit Seeker? I could definitely send that to him, like a screenshot for him. I mean, what he's doing is he's taking like he's listening to several, you're listening to several, like,
Mm.
and then you're kind of like taking a common denominator, you know, and
Yeah,
I think that's smart.
yeah, I'm looking for things that are common. The problem is now, I mean, we're getting, I'm getting emails like this now. We're getting a lot of comments of people with locations, and they sound really interesting. I want to go to all these locations, but you can't go to like 100 locations. You know what I mean? Like we've got to pick and choose, and it is getting really hard. That's why the common factors helps a lot with narrowing
Yeah.
down to the ones that are more likely. But you've really got to we got to stick to the ones that are much more likely to have and it really helps. We're not just looking at medium information, like, and I'm one of the biggest things. I know people are going to be like, oh, this is the psychic couple. No, like, as you know, Ziggy, I'm working with you on real evidence that we're digging into, real people and locations, and like, why is this location important? And then, as you know, we hit on something real, and we wouldn't have been able to research that if we hadn't been driven to go to that location and actually search that area. So it's like it's a compass to get to some location that might be important, and then we can research it and maybe discover some actual evidence that can prove something.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody was asking me, what's your, now we're just trying to get your reaction to your genuine reaction to this. So it's going to be out there kind of question. What do you feel about, the likelihood that an animal got her? Like at that
It's, I
time?
mean, that's a possibility.
Do you
That,
think, I mean, you don't think there'd
well,
be
actually, you
blood
know what?
anywhere?
If you take the whole everything, now again, I don't have all the details that a lot of you have, who you've been researching this since the beginning. I'm only basing this on what I've heard since we started doing this, and the fact that the dogs did hit in other locations. There was what, the footprints in, I can't remember, like 1 point something miles from the house. Like there's evidence elsewhere other than the property, and that tells me that I mean, it's a possibility she could have gotten lost and actually, if that is what happened, then it probably wasn't near the house. It was probably somewhere further out where she potentially did get lost, if that's what happened. But there, you can't shut the door on any theory. Like, there's no evidence proving any of these theories. So you can't say yes and you can't say no until something proves it either way.
Yeah. I just don't, but it's just something that I've talked to a few people. Not, I don't talk about it much on here because I don't think an animal got her at all. I just don't believe that.
Yeah, well,
But
Hey Jude just made a good point too. I'm not sure if anyone actually saw buzzards or, birds circling, because you would
yeah,
have definitely seen that.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and it just seems like it's not like you wouldn't think that the animal could get her in like one like swoop. You would think, or like not swoop. I don't know how to explain it. You would think that there would be evidence of a mauling or something, or
Yeah,
evidence.
I mean, there would be blood, there would be potential, parts left, unfortunately, and
Yeah.
things like that. When they have had cases, I mean, the Smoky Mountains has plenty of well, this whole area, there have been cases of bear attacks. Like that guy who got attacked in his tent or something. They found his remains not far. Like, the animal's not going to completely eat the body all the way through, bones and all. There's going to be something showing that they got attacked, and then they find the animal and they check the stomach out. But there's usually something left.
Why is the lady says are those footprints a fact or just rumors? I don't remember hearing that from law. Yeah, well, we don't have very much. Like, that's for sure. We don't have anything much from law enforcement, do we? We don't.
Yeah,
Look at
that's a good
footprints.
point. I'm trying to remember. Last night I got as close to it being a fact as possible by, uh, and I don't know how people feel about this channel. What is it? Cracking Cases. Sorry,
Yeah.
but that was one of them where they said, they and other channels said that the the number of the neighbors who reported this, and it was kind of like, how it is down there in communities like that. When something like that happens, people just talk, and so I think the news of the footprint just made the community rounds. So I kind of feel like that footprint was found, but these are good points in the comments that, like, did they really prove that it was hers? Could it have been her brother's? Could it have been some other kid? I don't know any of the details beyond that.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of evidence.
Yeah, and don't you could say I'm not one of those sticklers about how you can say anything any channel's name whether I like them or not. I don't care about that. But yeah, there's a lot of people. They're good. They're a good channel. They're going through issues now, but overall, they're pretty respected. Um,
I do try to be careful because I don't know all the drama that's gone on.
I
So
know, I know. People are so freaking weird. Like
yeah,
some of these creators are so weird about what you say and stuff like
mm,
that. I
yep.
just, I always wanted to be one of those channels. Like at first, I wasn't gonna have any moderators. It was gonna be like there, all opinions, like welcome. Just like it just didn't work like that because people I don't like the censored speech type at all. I want people to all have their opinions. And I feel like if we were trying to get to the truth, it's important to kind of hear all sides of stories, know of everything, even, and people give me hell about sometimes who I have on here. And sometimes we have to talk to people that may not be that great of people. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's interviewing. I mean, you do have to do that. But the thing that's funny is you get channels like you got you, Justin. There's a lot of other channels like who are obviously trying to get to the bottom of the truth. They don't like the drama and they want to find out, they want to do the research. They just want to do the research. And in my opinion, if all of those types of channels could band together, set aside whatever differences, stop blocking each other, and work together, like the brain power between all of these good channels would
I know,
be unbelievable. Like you'd be able to do so much amazing research if everyone would just shut up and work together.
I know, I know. But there's always like, it just, it just never works out like that. It
Yeah, I
just
know.
never does. It's gotten close. Like recently, everybody's kind of. It's been better. It gets better for a little bit, and then it's really hard for people to like agree on. They feel like for some reason people feel like they have to agree on everything to be friends, and
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
that's just not the case. Like I you guys should not agree with 100% of everything I say. That's not normal. Like seriously, and just because you don't agree with 100% of what I say doesn't mean you don't like me. It just means, you know what I mean? Like that's normal.
Well,
So
yeah, but if you work with other people who are really understand, doing good research means you're going to develop your own theory. But you like people develop a theory, and I noticed this it's not just this case, this always happens, that everyone when they hit a theory, they're like, okay, this happened, and I know this is what happened, and then they start defending it like it's fact.
yes,
And it's like there's no evidence to support any of this
I
100%. So why not take your theory? So you could say this is my number one theory. This is
know.
absolutely what I
Exactly.
think happened, but keep an open mind and like be willing to explore other theories. Just because yours may not be the correct one, who cares? But I mean, you see this on Facebook, right? When people get in debates,
Right.
it happens all the time. People just cling to their theory and they're not willing to keep an open mind and look at other
I
possibilities.
know. I know. It's very people like you. You're very open. Like that's why I was drawn to your channel because I just was drawn to you because you are, I don't know, you're just a breath of fresh air on this platform because you look into everything. Like, you listen to everybody, like, and take in everything. And I can respect that instead of you just like listening to what I say and taking it all as fact or somebody
Yeah.
else say, know. And I love that you're going to talk to Fred, like, um, and you're actually listening to the stuff like I send you and stuff for context. Like you're actually really looking into this. He's
Oh yeah.
serious about this. So
I mean, so Ziggy, I learned really quick. You can figure out who is pretty good at what they do and who is just the kind of person that just wants to defend a theory and they don't really want to get to the truth. And I saw really quick that you are the kind of person, you just want the truth. You are going to jump in, you're going to dig, you're going to research, whatever, and it doesn't matter what the theory is you're trying to dig into. You're willing to do the research, which is amazing.
Nah. But like it's but after a while I have got burnt out like at times, like I'll go and go and go, like researching down a rabbit hole,
Yeah.
especially with this Brandon stuff that came up with Brandon Lawson. It's like, oh, how convenient. We have, the sheriff's son is sex offender now, and that was all hidden
Oh
for some
yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
And and it makes you wonder. It makes you think of Summer, and the fact it's just I could go on and on with that. Then the freaking like spider. I put together like a chart of how everybody's connected. I need to work on that again. Add to that chart, since I was working on that right before Jim passed away, but then he passed away and I got all depressed, and kind of like but around October of last year is when all that was really everybody was talking about it. So I would stay up all night looking into.
Oh yeah. It's addictive, and you learn the hard way. Like again, as you get older, and if you start at a young age and you go through this, going down rabbit holes, especially if you're working with other people. I mean, when I first started, I was just like that. I worked with a team and we'd go down rabbit holes, and we ended up, you go to war. Like you feel like you're going to war with them. In this case, it would be all of a sudden there's other channels and you're like going to war with them, the people on the other side. And it ends up ruining your rational mind. Like it stops you from being able to just sit down, only focus on your research and where your path is taking you. It gets so bad if you're working with a group and they are also inexperienced at all. You'll end up infighting with each other, and so you all get distracted, and you can spend so much of your energy and time again staying up all night having comment battles and just it. That's why when I decided to get back into it, I'm like, I'm not gonna, if there are negative comments, I'm just gonna say thank you for your feedback. Like I really don't care. I really
You know
don't care.
what? I just got a text that's really funny because it's something that you've mentioned and think that meant something too, and it's bugged you. But that snake that you saw in that your
Yes.
wife found, somebody just texted me and said, I think that snake his wife saw in the box is a sign. I don't know what the sign is, but it's a sign. Kind of like that's what somebody texted me and said. But I know that you feel like that was weird how she sensed that, and that was there. That was
It was.
oh
It was
god.
really weird. The weird part for me was how it was found. It was, I think I told you this before, the box lid, she noticed it was shut, like someone had shut the box. And we couldn't figure out how well the snake can get inside a box and then shut the lid and clasp it. It was
Yeah.
just so like, I don't know how that happened, but that was definitely
Wow.
really weird.
Snakes can go a long time without eating, so it makes maybe somebody, who knows how long it was sitting there
Yep.
in
But
that box.
a lot of people have definitely said that it's sort of like, it's a sign of something, whatever snakes stand for.
Just like that horse that was on that the conference that TBI did. I think it was a presser that TBI did or something. In the background, you see a horse like taken off, but had ran off, and
That was surreal. Yeah, that was crazy.
everybody's been. I mean, even people who don't believe in like that kind of stuff are like, okay, they just felt like it was an omen, a sign of some kind. Horses have came up a lot in the case. Like, there's a lot of people in the area that ride horses and train horses, have horses. So
it can drive you crazy if you look at all the signs. Like if you took all of Donna's readings and you just accepted all of them as a sign to go somewhere, like you'll be going down rabbit holes for the next 20 years, right? So you've got to figure out, there's got to be a way to systematically look at her pins and then combine it with all of the actual things you've heard from other people, all the researchers who have been doing this forever. You take all that information and then it's like, okay, well, some of these pins are actually important because such and such lives here, or the family has been there many times, and as you know, You know, a lot of times, well, not only the family, but whoever did this, a lot of times the perpetrator will return to places that they're very familiar with. And so you want to go to places that people who you think might be behind it are familiar with, not just the family, because we're not saying the family did it, but anybody who might be involved. Where do they go? Where do they work? Where did they travel to? All things like that.
Yeah. I'm kind of wondering with everything since this case, like they put up a lot of chains and gates up since Summer went missing, and I just wonder like if she's behind one of these like no trespassing or.
Oh, it's insane. We drove up in the area. I'm not gonna say what roads because we're still looking into it, but we did take a couple roads up, not far from Ben Hill,
Mhm.
and just to see how Jen felt up there. And I was also looking to see if we could get up the mountain if there's any trails. And everywhere you turn, like the end of that road, there's a gate. And where Jen said, "Oh, I think that's important over there. I wish we could check it out." There's a gate. Like most of these places are so hard to get into. I am reaching out. I'm trying to find who the owners are of some of these places, find out their number or their Facebook, and kind of reach out and say, hey, could I go hiking on your area? I want to get to this mountain or whatever, and see if I can get some. But it's really hard. I wish I had more local contacts who knew people in that area because that would make
Yeah.
it really nice. You could say, who owns this property, and are you friends with them or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Fred is like, that's one of the things he said. He's like, I wish that, I
Yes.
wish I could be like taking them out to places. That would be amazing.
That
You
guy
know,
knows everybody, right?
yeah. And now, like he was out, like people had all kinds of opportunities to do that up until June, and nobody did. And now, of course, he's in jail and don't have the option, but too bad, like you didn't know him. Everything happens
I
so for
know.
a reason, so and right or
Well, hopefully he'll be, eventually out on probation. Although again, if I worry about him being in the area if he's on probation, if there's someone who doesn't want him to talk.
yeah.
So I don't know about him riding around.
Yeah, he wants out of the area too. I don't think that he's going to be going. I think we've convinced him not to go back to the area. Actually, I think he's pretty much convinced himself. Like, he
Yep.
knows that he's going to, like, he just is tired of the lifestyle. I actually am happy that he's going to rehab because otherwise he wouldn't have made it, I don't think, like, as far as staying clean.
Yeah,
For
good for
sure.
him. Good for him for doing that.
Yeah, it says, so Jessica asked if a coyote or wolves get her, wouldn't they take her to their den? I hate to say it. Don't they eat bones and all? I don't know. Coyotes do. Do you know if coyotes and wolves eat bones?
If Grace get her, wouldn't they take her to den? Well, there would be bones if there was a den, for sure.
Do they eat bones?
I mean, they chew at it, I'm sure, but
Yeah.
you'll end up finding. I mean, you when you find those dens, you find lots of bones a lot of times.
Yeah.
Justin, are you saying that she drank the Kool-Aid? He said hope you like fruit punch to Jen.
Oh, that's so funny that she is, she's just so, I was actually not surprised to find out that she's a Pisces, just like me.
Yep.
Uh, I always tell everybody I'm very shy too, and nobody believes me, but I really am. Like, especially on here on YouTube, not so much, but it's just different when you're on a computer and talking in front of people. I couldn't do this in front of like an audience of 750, like right in front of me.
Yeah, I know that would be unnerving.
Yeah. Justin, is your live canceled tonight? Yeah, Justin thankfully changed his live time for this live. I appreciate it. Actually, I think he was looking. He was more than happy to do so though, because I wanted to see. I didn't want to go at the same time as he was on, and yeah. So, Ryan, I want to personally thank you for trying to help find this baby. I wish there was a way you could accept searching funds.
This I appreciate that. This is the last case you want to start taking money from people. The first thing people accuse you of is trying to make money off of Summer's tragedy. And the thing is, and I keep telling this to people in comments, I will invest my own money into this. I'm not putting any Cash App. I'm not putting any membership. We do have ads, and all the ad money, I immediately go to Amazon, whatever we make, and I buy up search equipment. Like I don't want to make any money off of this at all, because I know that's the first thing people are going to say. And you know what's interesting is there's two things. I hope someone else finds her. I really hope someone finds her. People are really putting a lot, saying very positive things about what we're trying to do, but what we're trying to do is get just the views of places, clues out there, so that someone can find her. And the thing is, if you're into money, if you're into making money off of this case, you're not going to want to, honestly, people aren't going to want her found, because then you lose your entire audience and you lose your entire channel. I hope that happens. Like, I hope that all of the demand for content about Summer Wells completely dies because she was found. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, that's true. It's tough. Yeah, people are always they're always going to have something to say, though, and you know that. So it's like,
Oh yeah.
it just comes with the territory when you're putting your opinion out there, when you're looking into mysteries and the unknown and true crime and stuff. Like, there's a lot of like, people get very heated.
Oh yeah.
And
But I mean, that's why just do it right. We're not going to just don't make money off of it, and people can't accuse you of doing something you aren't doing.
Yeah, but eventually, I mean, it takes money to survive. So if it's taking up all your time and you're not bringing,
Well, it's nothing. That says nothing about true crime channels. I mean, you're a true crime channel, whether it's this story or any other crime out there. That's what you do. You're always going to have an audience for true crime. So we're not a true crime channel. So we're just focusing on this one thing, and we're going to get it done, and we're done.
Fred just actually emailed me. Speaking of, I told him that I was on YouTube live talking about him with Ryan. It says, no matter what we say, someone will always disagree. Can't please everyone all the time. Okay. Oh, and Spirit Seeker, I know. Let's see. You said you wanted to show like a location. Okay, this is only 4 minutes long. I'll just send it to Ryan. I mean, he's a busy guy, but he could probably watch 4 minutes. She's been around since the beginning. Spirit Seeker was like one of my very first subscribers.
Oh, I've heard her. Yep, heard her.
And she's not like a crazy psychic type. She's normal. I'm still focusing on the center blocks outside the dungeon door. I don't know about. What do you think the likelihood is that she's on that property somewhere?
Oh gosh, TBI has searched that place so often with cadaver dogs, and I just can't imagine. I'm sure at one point maybe if she was put there and hidden there, but what sense would it make to have her there?
Yeah.
Now?
Yeah, I
It's
really
so much attention.
Yeah, I doubt it. Unless she's been moved back there. No, that's Fred wants everybody. He said, "Tell everyone I said howdy." It's funny he said howdy because I always say howdy. But I never said that to him. But I'll tell him you guys all said hey and that you love him, even though you didn't say it. I'll just say it. It'll make his day. But you guys, I was so happy last night to speak to this person. You have no idea how relieved I was. And I wish I wish so bad you guys could hear this, but I've really got to do everything I can to protect this person. They're a really amazing person, and really has a great life. And you could tell, like, they're really level-headed. And I don't know, their opinion meant a lot, like, to me, weighed heavily.
Yeah, one of the most credible people that could possibly vouch for Fred. for sure.
Yeah. So, and maybe someday, like when it gets to a safer place in the case, like maybe when he's cleared, we can play it. But it's just like so many crazy people. Well, even if he's cleared, even if you get cleared, like people say that Jody Sue's been cleared, or supposedly, I still, I'm still suspicious of her. That's just my opinion, though. Even if she's supposedly been cleared, I know, supposedly Benny called Detective Pruitt, and Pruitt said on the phone that she's cleared supposedly. But that's just not good enough for me. I have to. I know it's bad, guys, but I don't know.
I think the safest time for you that you'll be able to release anything like that would be once the case is put to bed, someone's in jail.
Or
Once someone's in jail and like this person can understand who's behind it and there's no danger, maybe they'll be willing to.
yeah, I definitely wait till they were okay with it. But no matter what, but it's just like it's so crazy to me. But in my opinion, besides myself, I'm pretty misunderstood, and I'm not. But this isn't about me. Fred is one of the most misunderstood people I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, he really is. Like, and I just wish, I wish I could play this call for you guys and stuff, and I wish you guys could all meet him and stuff and talk to him. He is such an open book, and I think you would feel differently. But I'm not trying to sell you guys to Fred. I just want you guys. I want you guys to make your own opinion. That's why I wish you guys could hear this. But you don't think Judy Sue's involved? I definitely think it is the three main people. Yeah. The Fez visited her multiple times. Really? She has, because of the drugs. That is because of Dawn and Candace. Oh, what about Fred his name being mentioned, or Dawn's the one first? Okay, threw out Fred's name because he's like the meth dealer, I guess, labeled the meth dealer. And Dawn, look, 777 in chat. That's a good sign. Dawn went down there, and you know that right? That Dawn went down there the night of the 15th to Fred's for 3 hours. Like for 3 hours, it was at 9:30 p.m. 3 hours after, 3 hours after they called the cops, and he's like hanging down at Fred's, like talking about seeing her in the resurrection.
That was Fred, right? You said that?
Yeah. Dawn Wells went down to Fred's the night of Summer's disappearance, and he was down there at 9:30 to 10 o'clock. Well, police were called 6:30 or something. So only 3 to 4 hours later, he's over at Fred's, talking about seeing her in the resurrection, and so
I again, I try not to, and I no disrespect to you. I know that you've covered this a lot and you talk about the Wells all the time. I'm trying really hard not to talk about them or what people have said. Someone asked me in chat if I have talked to Dawn. I haven't, and I would, but I don't have anything. Like I said earlier, I'm not carrying any theory. I don't have a top theory at this point, so I'm not going to accuse him of anything or either of them. And so if I did talk to him, it would be just like I talked to Fred. It would be, I'm happy to have a friendly chat, get to know him. I think he probably, it would be a good conversation, and I would not mind. But I'm not right now. I don't plan on reaching out because we have so many locations to cover. So,
and there's so much out there already, that so many people he's talked to, and he's out. Well, he works on YouTube every day, so you don't.
They've been doing plenty of talking. Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I want to talk to people like we haven't talked to. Like, there's still a couple
Yeah.
that I can think of. People, for example, people were asking about like Rose Meyer. She'd be a good one to talk to. Or Rose Meyer was a good friend of Grandis's, like an old girlfriend or whatever. There's some people that Dawn worked with. I'd love to talk to. Marlena Crawford. I'd love for her to come out and talk. You can't clear someone who is washing their feet in a creek and snooping around. Dawn would probably send you 100 miles out of the way. Yeah, it's not funny, but thank you so much, Spirit Seeker. Welcome to the Zigsters, and I'll send him that link for him to watch. Like, where exactly, Spirit Seeker, or what area is the location that you're talking? Like, what's it near? Location shown, drawn. Okay. I don't know if I've even seen it, but you think she's under a tree. Do you guys know if it was ever like, I know that Kraken Cases put out something about, did they show the areas where they searched over there?
They had a map with they had LE search locations, but I could not track down how they knew that, if it was from law enforcement or just word of mouth or what. So that hasn't been confirmed.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like where, like Kraken Cases got that they were searching out there at Fields Road and Bells, but I do know. I'm pretty sure Fred was the very first person that mentioned that area.
Yeah.
Clyda, Trent, and Don's sister Sonia would be good ones to talk to as well. Yes. How old is Clyda even? How old is she alive? I would love to talk to Clyda. I've talked to Sonia, but I don't think that she's gonna give. She's so protective of Dawn. Why was she washing her feet before even law enforcement was called? Nobody thinks that's suspect. Both she and Candace were planting flowers.
Hey, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but could we dig into Gavel Geeks, because they said that there are actual photos that identify the search locations in November. I'm assuming November 2022.
Over by
Fields.
Where is that, Gavel?
I think Fields.
They were searching there in November. The photos verify. The sun was setting behind the trees, which helped with. Okay, so Gavel Geeks, can you send me like text me what you're talking about or whatever, so I can send to?
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be awesome.
TBI Newsroom.
If they're dated, that would be amazing.
I don't remember.
Rogue had a question. Ryan, do you think Summer's continually being moved? I'm leaning in that direction now, for sure. Well, I shouldn't say for sure, but there's some evidence or some information that implies that, yes.
You think still actively?
Now I can't. No, I don't think anymore. I think I don't think so. I think it's someplace very difficult to get to.
Okay, so here's the TBI's newsroom thing. Is this what you mean? Let me see if there's pictures here that you're. Okay, so there's pictures that verify. Here's some pictures, but.
So are they dated? It's 2021.
February to March search. It doesn't say.
I think the year. I think the year was on the website.
Yeah, it says at the bottom, February to March search. Well, I think they've updated this site several times.
Did you go back to that? The section was 3/2/22.
Yeah, okay. 3,
Okay,
2.
so March 22.
And then let's see. So there's some pictures down here. I don't know. You might be able to figure out if where these areas are, but I don't know. Does it show out that area, Gavel Geeks, like specifically, like where Fred? Or I think it's like Kraken Cases had spoke about it too, a lot. But we're trying to find like where we're getting their information about, or what their source was on that, about that area.
Those pictures, Ziggy, down in the 322 of the search. Could you go down to that again? I just want to see that area. So that looks like those fields. Do you anybody recognize that barn? Is that on Fields Road or Bell? I'd have to drive back out there to see it, but it could
I
be.
can probably Google Earth Studio.
I do have to ask, while you're doing that, where was that question? Somebody asked about a willow tree. There, Dixie in TN Mountains. I need to know why you asked that question, because that's interesting compared to something I heard today. I'm just really curious why you're asking that question. So weird.
I know it sucks sometimes when there's things you can't say, like, and
yeah.
actually, I need regular Google Earth.
I'm very curious if that's where that alleged waterfall trail is.
I'm pulling up Google Earth because we're gonna find that red barn.
So someone in chat thinks it was 162 or 167. It would be nice to know either one of those.
Wait, over on Fields Road?
Yeah.
Wait.
Where is Summer 1-800 TBI find? Said that.
It was either 160. Okay. Can I share what I'm looking at so that I have to still pull it up, but let's see. 167 Field Road. Is that what I said? 162 Field Road. Here we go.
Like, I don't know if this is updated either, but I'm really curious if it's a barn up there or something.
Okay. It's probably not going to let. Dang it! Of course, it's not going to let me. Like, is that? That looks like a red barn, but no, it's not going to let me down.
No, that road you can't. I don't think you can go down it, unfortunately. Don't you love doing this stuff live, Ziggy?
Oh, I know. That's why, because I know I do this a lot, and then it's hard. It's a lot of pressure when you're live, but
is that a red barn right there?
I'm trying right here.
It doesn't look right. I don't know. Oh, we don't know what year this image was either. Captured by satellite. It's hard to say. That place, if you back up in Google Earth, was under construction like not that long ago. So there's been a lot of changes.
Yeah. Okay, that's Beach Creek, but where the Bells Road? This doesn't look right.
So right at the creek, someone said.
But this doesn't, do you see where this doesn't even, what the heck? This doesn't even show, Bell's Road. Okay, there's Fields Road. Here's Fields Road.
Yeah, Bell's Road.
Fields Road.
Bell.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
Bell's right
sounds
there.
great. Where did you see Bill's?
No.
Yeah,
So
right there.
Bell Road's right
Okay.
there. So the road that goes where Bell and Field connect, 162, I believe, is the road just that goes. See that little branch that goes into kind of like the trees? I believe that's 162. Follow Fields, pass Bell, and then where the road tees off. Yep. Keep your cursor
There.
going like you're driving, and then take a left at the T. Go like left with your cursor. And actually, is that? But 162. If you take a left on Fields, keep following Fields. There's that little branch, little finger that you just passed.
I passed it.
Yeah, the little finger on the left, right there. That's 162, I believe.
Oh, over here.
Yes.
If I could, won't let me go in Street View there.
Or 158, but it covers 158
Here,
through
let's
160 something.
just 158 Fields Road, Rogersville. I don't know why, but people sit here and watch me do this all the time. Seriously, it's so bad, and I don't understand why. I'm like, so it's coming up, about 158.
Yep, that's the driveway right there. The driveway is right on the right, but I don't see any barn on there. But again, this is probably outdated.
Yeah, I want to pull up this other one real quick. Google Earth Studio, Fields Road, Rogersville. I'm going to see what it looks like. Should be pretty. I don't know how to put it on like how they Street View or whatever on Google Earth Studio, but you can't do Street View anyways on most of the places out there because it's so situated. You can go down Beach Creek. Okay,
it's nice though because it gives you a better look at the terrain. Google Earth, it's nice.
Yeah. And I like this because I use this more and I know how to use it better. Maybe. Let me see what you guys are saying. Wasn't it the Bernard's old property, TBI, and Hawkins was searching out on Fields Road where Andy and Judy Sue used to live, if I'm not mistaken? Yeah, that's what Fred said. We got the information from Fred.
Did it only come from Fred?
No. Well, that particular property, but the area, like, we don't know.
Yeah, that's why if
we're out there searching, but I don't know if it was particularly, like, I don't know if it's anywhere else that it was that Bernard property.
Yeah,
I know it was Bells and Bells, like around there.
That's why if any of those photos corroborate Fred, then you're good. Then that's a second source.
Yeah.
But like those photos are going to be hard to prove prove that's the place without driving out there. And the problem with that property is you can't drive out there and look at it because that's their driveway. It's gated probably.
I know. And that's the problem is like so much stuff is like blocked off. Even, some of the place, that didn't used to be like a lot of the, cemeteries and stuff, you can't even get in. And but let's see. Simpson. Sorry guys, I wish I could get down there and the
there you are. You see the little road that goes off Fields, and there's like
Bell.
And then if you go down Fields, you can see that little finger that goes into the trees.
Yeah.
What do you have your timeline set at on this? What year is it?
How do you check on this? This is Google Earth Studio.
Oh, I don't know about Studio.
I know, it's
That's
like
not.
something new.
That's okay. I don't.
I know.
If there is a barn, it's in the trees. Can't really see.
Yeah, we'll have to. I'll look.
Yeah.
Here's a red, but that's right by. That
Oh,
looks like. It.
that's huge. That
Yeah.
does look like it.
Let me see though. Like again, that's right next to a road, and I don't think the one was right
Yeah.
next to it. If I can remember, I don't remember. I'd have to find that picture freaking again. The red barn we were just looking at. Oh, that was on TBI. Okay, that was on TBI website. It's like, where the heck did I just see that? I don't think it was that quote. The red barn. Let me see. That they have on their website. It's not that close to a road, I don't think. Unless, yes, it is actually. Oh my gosh.
That's the barn.
I think that's it. Here, let me show you.
Right near the road.
Yeah, that could
Because
possibly.
the field definitely looked like the same field in the picture.
Yeah,
But
it looks like it
it's.
totally can be. Look, because at first I didn't see until you go out here and you see
Oh
the
yeah.
here.
Oh wow.
It looks like it totally could be.
Huh.
But let me go back. Let's see. Okay. We need to somehow put these side by side or something. But that is that. I'm looking
Yeah, it
at
looks
Google
like
Earth right now, and that is like right in front of the road, just like.
it. Wow.
I'll send both of those pictures to you, like side by side, because these definitely can be the same barn. That is crazy.
Yeah.
What's that? What's that? What's it say it is? 108 to 100 Fields Road. 100 to 108 Fields Road. There's a lot of barns out there though that do look like
That's
can
true.
look like that.
Yep. You'd have to go out and just see what all the barns are.
Email sent with Creek photo and article. Okay, thanks, Gab. Let me pull that up. This says February, not November. Yeah, the TBI one it says February. It says February or March. But here, let me pull this up.
So that might be a photo that kind of checks out Fred's claim that they were searching. If it is the right spot.
Yeah, it says, see, TBI focused on previous areas of interest and search for summer wells. Hawkins County, the TBI come through thickets in Hawkins County on Monday during a planned search for missing 6-year-old Summer Moon Utah wells. Okay, this was posted February 28th, 2022, updated March 1st, 2022. So
teams will be back. That would make sense too if they said teams will be back in February, then in March they've got photos.
Yeah, it says TBI spokesperson Leslie Earhart confirmed that crews will also return to the area on Tuesday. Teams will be back in Hawkins County today, although I don't know for how long. Earhart stated in an email to News Channel 11. Here's some pictures. TBI agents of Hawkins deputies conduct a small-scale planned search for missing 6-year-old.
I recognize that spot on the left is definitely on, I believe, on Fields Road. See that concrete thing?
Yeah.
I think plenty of people drove that road and kept passing that. So that's definitely the field on the right that's just under 162 or near 162. I think I have to go back there, but recognize that one, but I don't recognize the one on the right.
Yeah. Thank you for sending this for sure.
Yeah, that's helpful.
Does it? Somebody just sent me something else too. Yeah, this area right here definitely that has a good reference there. You could see. I mean, you could that little creek there or whatever with a little concrete thing. You might be able to pinpoint.
Yep.
Let's see. Fields Road video. Somebody sent me. It's towards the end of video. Don't play sound that has copyright music. Oh shit! Did I say it? It said, and then they said, "Don't mention my name." Hopefully, I didn't mention your name. Let me show this. My freaking computer's doing something weird. I'm trying. It's freezing up, guys. So just give me a. Okay. Here it is. Hanging flyers and Fields Road. Okay, but this is just I need to see though somebody's search. I need to see searches. I don't need somebody out there just like driving out there. You know what I mean?
so many videos of people just driving up Fields Road.
Yeah,
and
I just want. Yeah, I'm just curious about. We're just curious about if like you guys know like where it was put out on the news or anything about Fields Road. We want to see if the information is just coming from Fred or if it's coming from a like something more like set in stone or proof. That people that they were actually focusing on that area. Because at first it was first mentioned by Fred, but I do know Kraken cases and them were really into that area for some reason and claiming that TBI and them were searching out there as well. The barn is right there at the creek and road. Is it the one that we had on the screen? Say what? Where's the road at where that man saw Candace walking out of the woods from? I don't know. That whole thing, I don't understand where supposedly that I think that came from that YouTube channel that's kind of sketchy, like Sky News or something. They're sketchy. It's hard to. It's weird. It looks like a legit news channel, but then it's just kind of like like National Enquirer type like level. In a way, it doesn't seem very credible when you really look into it. Surface level though, it looks fine. But they're the ones, they put out something about seeing 4 people go into the woods and 3 people come out. And I have no idea what that means. It supposedly was like Dawn, Candace, and 2 other people or something. I don't know. Do you guys remember? I don't think it was nothing. Another realm mentioned Fields Road 3 months ago. Yeah. That's been, and we've talked about it for over, from the beginning. Well, definitely since December of 2021, because that's when I first met Fred, or it might have been January of 2022. It was right around that time, though. Kim and Ellie were there that day. November search. Candace didn't bat an eye. Oh, yeah, I do know Kim and Ellie's done some actual searches, so... But were they with search crews? My email is youtubeziggy@outlook.com. I don't remember anyone mentioned but Dawn and Candace. Surveys need up there to put the stakes back where they belong. Much love and respect. Much love and respect to Ryan and his wife for searching. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Sky News out of Asheville. He had a man on there, but don't know what happened to the video. 22-year-old. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The guy that supposedly saw her. Saw who? Oh, Webb says Fields was searched by this April 2022.
Did they do multiple searches or something?
Yeah. You mean on Fields Road or?
Yeah, because the other one was March.
Yeah, I think that they were really focused on that area for, seemed pretty convinced, you know what I mean? So something like Fred said, it seems possible that there could. I hate that conversation. That's the conversation that did not record, of course. So I don't have on recording. But Fred told me that he overheard some law enforcement talking. He was telling me like, I don't know why they were saying this stuff in front of me. They just talk like I'm one of them. That's what he's saying. I don't. And he said he heard them talking about disturbed ground.
Was it when he was? Do you know if it was when he was in the area when they were searching and he heard them talking, or is that something they told him in jail?
No, it was in the area. This was not in jail. This was.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So this was a while ago. Like, yeah, before he was in jail and everything. He told me this was told to me. Well, gosh, it's been a year ago or something. And every time that wasn't told at first. He didn't tell me. There is things that they tell him not to tell people, according to him. And he'll be like, they told me I can't say this. And then,
I think they know he will, at least in jail, anything they tell him there. But if that was not in jail, then that's a different story.
Yeah, but if he tells me there is things that like that, he told me about that, I didn't mention to anybody for a while because I'm like, oh my God, like,
yeah.
I didn't want to mess up anything because they were searching. I knew that they were searching, at the time they were still doing searches and stuff. Oh, thank you, Canadian-ness. This is fascinating. Yeah, it can get interesting. Ronnie and Lawson said they went back in fall, winter because some areas were too overgrown. They seem to have always felt she wandered off and got lost. I know. That's how they are. That's what they're trying to make people believe. But that's what well, oh gosh. Yeah, they are trying to make people believe that. You're absolutely right. Maybe they really do feel that. Maybe they do believe an animal got her, maybe they truly believe that. I don't feel like she just wandered off. I really don't think it's possible. I just don't. Because I feel like she would have been found. I don't think she could have got away that, she would have got hurt or, like if you would hear her screaming. And also, I don't know if you remember, like towards the beginning, Jody Sue did not come out with a scream story at the very beginning. I don't know if you remember this, but I remember when she first came out with a scream, and I was like, did not believe it because I'm like, why would that's a big deal. Why didn't you say this at the beginning?
How long after?
It was like, do you guys remember exactly? I want to say a couple weeks, but it could have even been longer. But what was it? Do you guys remember how much longer after that she came out, like telling us all that? Just Jen, thank you. Yeah, she could have met the wrong person and wandering off. I guess that's like possible. Anything's possible, I guess. It's just what's probable. I mean, also, why DCF took the boys? Yeah. Ronnie Lawson said the scream was unfounded. Yeah. But why would she? We don't. I guess we don't know for a fact that we'll probably never know about if that scream was really real or not.
It sounded like the kids also said the same thing.
Yeah, you saw how far on that map. She claims that she could hear the kids like playing and stuff. And I don't know. She their house is actually further than people think from the wells. It's like it's not right across the street. It's like it's actually down Ben Hill a little bit ways and kind of closer to Simpson. And it is the only address I believe on the left before you get to Simpson.
You know what's funny is when I saw her on the news,
Mhm.
and the fact that her kids said the same thing, I actually believed it when I saw that video.
Yeah,
I believed her, but
yeah. Yeah. And well, she tried to say like that she didn't tell everybody at first because she acted like she was trying to protect the investigation and stuff, or but she's just it's weird because at first like she didn't show up. She stayed off YouTube, and then when she came around, like she just never left.
yep.
Juniper says, Ziggy, please tell Ryan about Christy McIntosh and her channel, Criminal Astrologer. She's done detailed maps regarding where Summer could be using location astrology. Well, there you go, Ryan. I'm sure he's like searching all this stuff and he's comparing several sound travels through the hollers. But in my opinion, I believe Jesu made up the screen considering Jesu told Cam it was more of a shape than a sound. Don't they say that like psychopaths or something or sociopaths like see in shapes?
Oh my gosh.
Or see or like I don't know, that's a weird thing to say. She's just an interesting one. I don't know. I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be more like Ryan. Did she say kids would rummage through their kitchen or come and be in the yard? She said the kids would come by and eat food and stuff, but it's quite the walk. Like if you're going walking all the way down 110's driveway, it's long. Like it's very far to get to the bottom and then you have to walk up. And it's not like their house. It's not like Jody Sue's house is right off Men Hill Road, or she doesn't live there now. But
I think Sassafras said she's mad because we're searching. I've got nothing against her, and she can put out whatever she wants against me. Honestly, I have nothing against her. I think she came across to me on the video when she was on the news as I don't know. She seemed like a regular person, regular neighbor who was just concerned about what she heard, and she can put out a dozen videos or more about me, and I honestly will maintain the same thing. I don't care, and I have nothing against her. Just looking, that's all.
the Simpson used to also live at 162 Fields Road. Also, the Simpson used to live. The Simpson. Which one do you mean? The Simpson 162.
Cotton? I don't think so. His house is
Yeah, he's lived at that one house.
elsewhere.
Yeah, Mountain View. It's like he lived there for a long time too at Mountain View. So
Yeah. A lot of people want to see Mountain View, but Mountain View goes to basically a gated, like 5 do not trespass signs and security cameras that go into the mountains above Laurel Run. So nobody's going to be able to search that without permission from whoever that is.
yeah, summer's probably it's frustrating because like for people like I mean you're out there looking for it's even worse than a needle in a haystack. Okay, it's like way worse.
Yeah.
So even comparing it to a needle in a haystack, it doesn't even compare. But it's frustrating because I feel like there's people who know where she's at, and I think a lot of people, not maybe a lot of people know where she's at, but I think a lot of people, a pretty decent number of people know.
Yeah, at least one person knows where she is.
Yeah.
Could be more.
I hope that one person is not just the father because he's looking pretty rough these days, and I don't know if he's gonna make it. He's like, I don't know. He looks like He possibly he doesn't look good. But Jody Sue's never been harassed, Jennifer. But we won't get into that right now because I understand. Like Ryan doesn't want to be in the drama and stuff, but I could definitely get on my opinion about her at a later time for sure.
She's got nothing to fear from me as far as getting attacked. I don't want anything to do with her.
Yeah, Ryan's comment about who attacks first and how hard they attack made my tummy flip. Yeah, Jody Sue doesn't care about some possibly if it's true that she really knew about the kids being sedated, but you know, she's the one that would have to live with something like that. So just knowing, you know, something like that, even if you have a little bit of empathy, just a little bit, that would eat at you, knowing that you could be involved in something like that, you could have prevented something like that. So we just have to believe in it sucks because we want justice for Summer, of course, and the people involved. But I believe in karma is very real, so it will be settled some way or another. I think they all have everybody. I know that's my fear too about something happening to them before we know what happened to Summer. My question is, why did the scent dogs hit on her feet? I mean, there's a reason for it. Where were the footprints found? Did the dogs hit on her feet? Like, is that for sure? I've heard so many kind of conflicting things. We just ignore it at this point and keep going to tax distract, and we ain't got time for that. I like that. A tax distract, and we ain't got no time for that. Oh, really? BHB? Betty did? Really? Betty sang that? Okay, well, maybe he is looking better. Doing better. I know that Candace looks like she's doing a lot better. She's looked better than I've ever seen her, but Dawn's a little bit different. What goes around comes around. Yep. Crystal Spencer knows the well. She was around Summer. Marlena Crawford said her daughter said that Candace packing Summer's suitcase. Where was she going? Yep. Crystal Spencer. That's Crystal Spencer. That name. You know what's weird? The name that I know I shouldn't be. That you guys. I won't say the person's name, but. That lady in the photo that was holding Summer, that people have always wondered who she is. Fred mentioned that girl's name for some reason and told me to look into her. So it's not Crystal Spencer though. I think she has the same last name as Dawn. I think. Okay, Moody. Marlena mentioned the suitcase her daughter told her. Are there any prisons or places out there that are empty, like shut down? Do you know?
Abandoned places?
Like, I guess, like any prisons out there that are shut down?
I don't know about prisons. I know there's a lot of abandoned properties, though.
Yeah. I know her name. She was into someone. Oh, Moody is Candace's cousin. Okay. I don't think that's who I'm talking about. Then She said the dog stopped at her feet. It's the riddle, tells the way she speaks in riddles, gets people confused. She actually had her dog with her too, just in my opinion, to distract search dog. Well, uh-oh. Oh, so Fred asked if there's any excitement. What is this? Somebody send me a picture. Look bottom right middle. What? Oh my gosh, what is that? That looks like sticks to me, though. Okay, I'll show this picture, but I don't think it's. And I'm sure Ryan probably needs to go soon, anyways.
Yep.
If anytime you need to go, it's totally fine. This person wanted me to show you this real quick, though.
Okay.
I don't know exactly. I don't know if I believe it is anything, but I'll show it. I don't know. Where is this supposed to be, though, my wrench? Like, this could be anywhere in the world. Where did you get this picture, too? That's important. Like, what is this?
Oh, that's good foliage.
Yeah, but I guess it's this right area right here that on the middle right, like I could that they're talking about, but I don't know where they got this picture. It just, to me, I don't know. Someone shared this photo early on. Maybe Ryan knows where this place is. Not. Oh, no. That's fine. To the person who sent me the video, feels right. Road, it's okay. Like, oh, you just are saying you wanted me to. Was the video of going down Fields Road, though? Because I don't think that video was actually going down Fields Road. Did anyone notice the swimming pool had pandas on it? The one that got took down at Ben Hill. Pandas makes me think of Red Barrel for sale again. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming up so much. I really do. And
of course, anytime. And
I'm sure that we'll have you here again sometime too. Hopefully with where we could, and if you ever want me, well, your channel is more of an upload channel. You don't go live, but
not yet.
If you ever want me on your channel, I will be there.
Tell Fred, and tell Fred to take care of himself. Be careful.
Yeah, I will, and hopefully next time that you're on here, you can give us some more, like, I don't know, more your personal experience with Fred, and
of course.
So I have to try to share this with several people in the area just to see if anyone knows where this place is. Oh, okay. You're just trying to see if anybody knows where it is. But what's the history of the picture, though? Like, you don't know where it came from or anything? I don't know if that even looks like Tennessee foliage.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dixie says thank you, and everybody's saying thank you, Ryan. Was it Jennifer? Was it Jennifer Gunn? Wells that Fred mentioned? No, it was. No, the last name was Wells, though. Well, that's if they would let you in, Dixie. you probably won't. He's going to be transferred any time now, and so anybody can try to. Nobody has, like, he hasn't. The only visits he's had is me, Kathy. Well, Ryan tried, and I think his sister once or twice. Have Ryan find the neighbor that offered Mountain Dew to Candace. He allegedly seen her walk out of the woods. Which one's that?
Is that guy with a beard? Can't remember. There was an interview with the neighbor. I can't remember if that's what he was talking about though.
Well, all right.
Anyway.
Thank you so much.
Yep. Anytime. Have a good night, everyone.
Yeah. We'll have you back again sometime if you don't mind.
Yeah, sounds great.
We didn't scare you away.
Nope. Have a good night.
Okay. All right. Talk to you later.
Yep. Bye.
Well, that was nice of him to come on here. I'm glad he showed up because I need somebody. I need some help here. People take serious like what's going on, just in case. He doesn't have anybody. Fred doesn't have anybody, and there's some people targeting him right now, in my opinion, and there are even people that should be protecting him, but they're letting greed get in the way. They want all that property out there. I know, right? Where's Summer? But I didn't want to talk about any of that stuff or whatever because I don't know he doesn't want to put his feelings, or he's trying to stay neutral about everything. And it's hard to do when I start putting opinions out there and stuff like that. Like mine. Now we can talk about Jody Sue and stuff. He just doesn't want to be associated with that stuff. Everybody knows my opinions. I do find it very strange that she, for some odd reason, started attacking Ryan the second that there was anything mentioned about him. I don't know if it was him, like me mentioning him, or I think it seems the Fred thing. I mean, she's going like crazy today. And I accidentally sent that to him because I thought it was laughable, and he doesn't want to see that stuff. So, and I understand because I don't want that stuff either. So, at all. But it is interesting to see because it does say a lot. I mean, why does Jody Sue care? I mean, if somebody's out searching for Summer, he's not bothering anybody. He's not going up door to door. He's not taking in money at all. Did you watch it, Gabble Geeks? I didn't see it. Did you watch it, Jam? Who has Jody Sue approved of? I don't exactly. Have you guys ever seen her happy? For real though, have you ever seen her happy or laughing? Actually, my mom's going to be here tomorrow. Kind of something that happened. She's going to she's got me in an appointment here with the pet. We're going to take all the dogs and the cat to get their shots updated on the rest of their shots for this year, and then we're trying to get Athena spayed, but we're having the hardest time. So that probably won't be done until after Christmas, but Athena's been getting out, and I really don't want her pregnant by a neighborhood dog. So Did the youngest Andy ever have a girlfriend? And my suspicions. Well, I will tell you, Laura has some very interesting stories about him, Damien. And Fred. Fred doesn't talk a lot, though. He isn't, I guess I would call it gossip. Laura doesn't gossip either, but I guess more so than Fred, if you would compare. But he just doesn't talk bad about people at all. You have to ask him, like, things like, for instance, I asked him about Damien and, how his behaviors and stuff like that. But Laura told me that he was absolutely horrible. Like, was abusive to his grandmother. Like, she said, like he would like pick up things and hit her with like a broom and stuff. The way Laura described how that kid was, because Jody Sue and Andy didn't raise him. He was like put off on allegedly grandparents his whole life, and he did spend a lot of time with his grandmother, and he was really abusive towards her, allegedly. Horrible. I guess he was like completely out of control. Calling everyone a tragedy pimp. What is she doing? Making money off summer skates like the one. I know! He's not even collecting money. She can't be for real, right? Joey Sue, you've lost your credibility. Nobody is going to take you. Nobody listens to you anymore. So you've lied so many times and, not stuck to what you've said. Like, why did you say that Andy sells drugs to sedate kids to 110? Like, but yeah, at the same time, you want to like defend him like crazy. Other times, which I get, the truth is the truth, but it seems like you kind of backed off on the selling drugs to 110 thing. I just don't understand why the truth would ever change, The truth is the truth no matter when, or it shouldn't change no matter who you're mad at, it shouldn't. It's the same always. And that's why I support Fred, because he's the only one I've noticed that's been consistent. Who has like really tried. He tries his best to be as honest as he can, and you can tell when he talks. You can tell by I've tested him so many times, you have no idea. Asking questions differently, many times bringing up things we talked about before and just acting. I've tested him many times. So people that say I blindly support him, that's completely untrue. There's a reason. And I am much more, a million. I can't tell you, like, I could not sleep. I was so happy. It was the most awesome call ever. I haven't even had a chance to even tell him about it yet. Or Laura. She talks about age, so it's no different. No, he's not stupid, but he's like, Fred's not stupid at all. He's like really smart in other ways, like where like a lot of people would be lacking. For instance, his memory is like really great. Okay. Also, he's really good at fixing things and stuff like that. But when it comes to like the internet and like if he had to fill out something online or for like, I don't know, for who knows what, he would need somebody to do it for him. Like in pretty simple things too. Same with Laura. I have to do everything pretty much for them online. But I don't mind at all. She also said the parents didn't do anything this summer. She changed her story. I know. Like she knew that they were suspect from the beginning. So why did she defend them at first? You know, like she knew she had the stuff that she's coming out with now or later on saying that she witnessed and saw. To think that she knew that the kids were being sedated or girls were being sedated up on 110. And she knew that, but yeah, it's telling people early on that, you know, Candace they're innocent. Like, you knew that kind of stuff going on, but they're innocent. Okay, JC, you are so full of it. Please make that make sense. Answer some real questions. Fred said, love ya. Tell everyone to have a safe and blessed night. Love you guys. Aww. That's what the person told me, like, too. They were, like, saying how he's always been like that as far as he calls everybody, like, he says, God bless. He calls everybody his sister and brother, and he'll call you sweetie and dearest, and it's not in a creepy way. He does not come off creepy in the slightest, like at all. But we were joking. I was joking with this person about, like, we were both laughing. Like, it's like, well, maybe it's because, like, he looks scary. Like, he looks like, and they were like, I know he looks like a bad man in his mugshot. We were laughing about it, like that he looks like super scary and stuff. But like, oh my gosh, he's not. Okay, tell Fred. Okay, they're saying stay safe and have a good night. And that you're loved. He's actually kind of I guarantee he's crying at that text. That's the kind of guy he is. So we had a good live today, and thank you so much to Ryan that came on. If anybody is interested, his link is in my description. I believe his channel will probably take off over time. So I hope so much that we can get him and Fred. Like, they've been in communication through email, but yeah. He will also say, I love you, my friend. Oh yeah, he'll always say that. And I tell him I love him now too. Like, I say, love you, friend, or whatever. I mean, gosh, I've been friends with the guy for 2 years. Him and Laura. And Laura doesn't. I made sure too. Once people started saying weird things about me and Fred, like, I made sure, I was like, Laura, like, I'm really just trying to help you guys. And it's not anything weird like that, April, that does sound familiar, but is there a Lisa? Lisa, Lesa. Fred's a really good guy. He is. I would go as far as saying that he's one of the better people I've ever, I don't want to say best person, because obviously he uses drugs and he's dealt drugs. That's not like, so that takes, when you're into that lifestyle, you're not going to be like, he's as honest as he can be for a drug, a drug dealer, I guess. If that's what you call it. I feel like, though, I don't think that was what even though that's what he was doing, I believe that they were about to lose that place, the property. And I think he was desperately trying to save the property for his parents and for his family. And so, which that's another interesting thing, is that they've been tearing apart his place, acting like they're looking for summer when they're really looking for money. Fred knows exactly what they're doing. And they did find money, by the way, but they placed the money. How about Karen, how about I make you guys all lose it? If you're trying to keep Fred, if you get screw Fred out of those properties, I'll just let law enforcement know that you use drug money to pay for the place. People should look up his sister. Like, she created a whole, like, this whole big, like, scheme to where she set up fake robberies at her house in order to get her son out of the neighborhood robberies that he had been committing. So she set up one. They were thinking it was him. I guess he was a prime suspect or something. So what'd she do? She set up a fake robbery of her house where he lived and she lived to try to get him out of trouble, and got 15 years for that. And she's a drug dealer herself. She's been charged with dealing. She's been in prison. She has worse crimes than Fred, so. So Fred said that they found money that he had hidden, that he was saving to save the property, and supposedly they put that money towards the property, which is, I mean, I guess it's, at least it went towards the property, if that is true. Don told Betty to go look at Fred's. She said she just drove by and didn't get out. So Betty is now close with Dawn. Are you serious? Right. Angel, me too. Oh yeah, because they got rid of everything. He knows. Fred knows. And they're still out there searching, like thinking that they're gonna find some like treasures or something. Literally the whole Fred told me just yesterday that they drained the whole that there's 2 sewage systems up there or something. He said, and he said that they searched through both of them. Hawkins County did, because he was worried too that somebody was trying to set him up. So he wanted them to clear his property. And Hawkins County did. They went up there after he was arrested and went through everything all over again. She didn't record, but she said he was recording her. Oh, that's funny. Dawn is suddenly recording people. Doesn't Dawn have the hots for? Well, he probably has the hots for. I mean, can you imagine? Like, never mind. I'll just keep my. All right, guys. I'm really going to go now. Thank you so much for hanging out, to the ones that became members. And thank you to Ryan. I'm going to also send, shoot, I took down that. I need to send that Spirit Seekers. But I appreciate you guys. It's been a good live. So talk to you guys all later. Bye.